So, good morning, boys and girls. So today, my name is Samson. So today we'll be converting units of land. So remember what we did in our previous lesson about estimate and measuring of land. So let us quickly do a revision on that, or let us revise on the estimation of land. Alright, so remember in our lesson last time we have used different materials to measure the land. So what are the different of materials that we have used in our previous topic of measuring the land? So we've used a ruler, and a measuring tape. And a triangular wheel. So this is what we've used to measure a distance. We say you can use this instrument to measure a distance. So a ruler, we say you can use a ruler to measure small length. A small length. So we say you can only use a ruler to measure what units? We said millimeter and centimeter. So we use a ruler to measure small length. So now a measuring tape can use it to measure the length that is more than what a centimeter, which is what a meter. And the last one, can use a triangular wheel to measure length that is equal to meter or kilometers. So this is what we have discussed in our previous lesson. So today I want us to look at the conversion. What to convert the units of length. What do you mean by conversion? We mean we convert the units of length. So, to convert the units of length, we mean if I give you a centimeter and I ask you to write it in kilometers, so you need to follow some steps in order to write it in millimeters. Or if I give you a length that is equal to a meter and ask you to write in kilometers. So that's what is conversion. So we'll be converting the units of length. So I want to show you two ways of converting the units of length. So today we'll be doing two ways or two methods of converting the units of length. So to convert the unit of length, we can use this diagram. Remember, our first unit or the smallest unit that you can start with is a millimeter. And second one will be centimeter. Third one, a meter and a kilometer. So to do this, you need to remember the numbers that we use to convert the units. So the difference between all these units is the powers of 10. That is the difference, the powers of 10. So if you want to convert a millimeter to a centimeter, we're going to use a 10. a centimeter to a meter, we're going to use 100. A meter to kilometer, 1,000. So, say here from kilometer to meter, you're going to use 1,000, here 100, then here 10. So now you need to know the operations that we're going to use in order to convert. So to convert, we use two operations, that is multiplication and division. So if we're moving from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we use division. We divide. From smaller unit to a bigger unit, we divide. Meaning, from a millimeter to a centimeter, we are going to divide by 10. From centimeter to a meter, we're going to divide by 100. From meter to kilometer, we're going to divide by 1,000. So we use this operation when we move from smaller unit to the bigger unit. So now multiplication, we use it when we move from bigger unit to a smaller unit. From bigger unit to a smaller unit, we use multiplication. So this diagram is very important when we convert units of length. So let me give you an example. Number A. There's this statement. I'm going to write it here. So we're going to simplify it, or we're going to convert the unit that you were given. Okay, so we have this statement. We're given this statement. It reads, Bulalo needs 5 kilometers of wire to make a fence. How many meters of wire is this? So here you need to analyze this statement first. We're given a 5 kilometer of to make Bulalo needs 5 kilometers to make a fence. So how many meters of wire is this? So we want to know how many 5 kilometers in what? In meters. So basically we are converting from 5 kilometers to a meter. So we're going to come here, 5 kilometers. Now we go to our diagram. So if we look at our diagram, we need to check the arrows. We're moving from a kilometer to a meter. So we're going to use this arrow from here to here. So we're moving from a kilometer to a meter. What is the operation that we're going to use? Is it division or multiplication? Obviously it's going to be what? A multiplication. So we're going to multiply by a 1,000. So we're going to have 5 multiply by a 1,000. Our answer is going to be a 5,000 what? 5,000 meters. Because we've moved from kilometer to a meter. So that's how we convert. That's one of the examples how we can use this diagram to make conversions of units. So this is the first method that you can use. You can use this diagram. You need to check what you're given and check the errors and the operation. Now, let's go to our second method. So our second method that we can use to convert is something like this. Okay, so this is very interesting. So to memorize this, you can give it maybe acronym. It says King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. So this is the acronym that you can use to memorize this. So let's start. A K stands for kilometers. H stands for hectometers. Then D, deca. U stands for base unit. So a base unit, it depends on whether you are given a mass, a unit of mass, or length or capacity. So in our case here, we are converting the units of what? Of length. We are converting the units of length. So the base unit of length is meter. Meter, and is the base unit of length. So if we were solving or we were converting the base unit or the unit of mass, we'll be having grams. The capacity is liters. So it depends on whether what type of units you are converting. So here we are dealing with meters. Meter is the unit of length. So this stands for decimeters, this one centimeters, and milli. Alright. So that's one centi, milli, deci. Okay. So now let's say, so here, remember a 1,000, I mean a kilo is the same as 1,000. Hectare same as 100. A deca same as 10. Then here, this is the base unit. You can write 1. Deci, you can now write 1 over 1,000, 1 over 100, 1 over 10. So these are the biggest units, these are the smallest units. Okay, so I'm going to use the same example that we've used in our first method of converting the units. Okay, so in our example, we're converting, we said Bulero needs 5 kilometers of wire to make a fence. How many meters of this wire? So we're converting 5 kilometers to meters. This is what we were doing in our previous example, in our first method that we did. So to solve this, we use decimal point. We're no longer using the arrows and the operation, but we use the decimal points. Now, I have 5 kilometers. You need to look at here. Our base unit is what? Is meters. So, we're moving from kilo to where? To the meter. I'm moving from kilo to meter. Remember we said we are using decimal points. So to use decimal point, let's say I have a 5 there. So So we are moving this way, this side, from kilo to base unit. Now, we need to calculate, or we need to use a decimal point. So, how many times are we going to move to a meter from K? We are going to say 1, 2, 3 times. So, you need to know that if I have a number here, then they are not decimal, meaning the decimal or the point, it is here. So I have to count how many times? 1, 2, 3. So I'm counting now. 1, 2, 3. So my decimal point will be here. From the point that's 5, 1, 2, 3. So meaning, remember, if there are no numbers here, it means there are zeros. So my answer is going to be the 5,000 what? Meters. So this another way of converting units of length. So now let me give you a different example that involves moving from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. Okay, so I have from smaller unit to a bigger unit. Let's say my example. Let me check from smaller unit to bigger unit. Okay, I have 125,000 meters. Then I have to convert to kilometers. So this one is different to moving from smaller unit to a bigger unit. So we are starting this point to our base unit, which is meters. Now, moving from milli to the base unit, how many times should I move? Let's come. We're going to start a given meters. Yes, a given meters. Here, this is the what? The base unit. So it means we're going to start here and move this side, because the base unit is what? The meter. Then from here to the kilo. From meter to the kilo. So we start, how many times are we going to move? We're going to move 1, 2, 3 times. So we're moving from right to left. Alright, so we come to our number here. We need to count, we need to move from right to left. So our point will be here. So moving from right to left, we're going to count 1, 2, 3 times. So we need our new point will be here. So this number is going to be our answer, 85 point here. So this is how we can convert the units of length. So this is another method. You need to know this acronym. King Harry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk, or use the first one that I've shown you. So now let us do the task activity. All of us, at the end, we're going to write a corrections. Task activity. Class work or class activity. Okay? So, one, I'm going to have 25,000 centimeter. We need to convert to meters. B 0.5 centimeter. We need to write in millimeters. C 7 kilometers into meters. D 0.5 kilometers 2 meters. Yes, these are the four activities that I want us to look at. So when you're done, we're going to do the corrections. I'm giving you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's fine, to complete this. So when you're done, please talk to me. I'm going to mark your book. I'll be moving around.
Correct.
Okay, so I think we're all done doing the activity. So let us now do the corrections. Let's start with the first one. So I have given you 2 methods of solving or of converting the units of length. So it depends on you whether you want to use the first method or the second method. So let us use the first method. I've given you this diagram. Millimeters, meter, centimeter. No, I'm making a mistake. So it's going to be millimeter, centimeter, a meter, and a kilometer. From here to here. Set, we divide by a 10. We divide by 100. We divide by 1,000. Then from bigger unit to smaller unit, multiply by 1,000, 100, multiply by 10. So let us look at our first number. We have 5,000. We have 25,000 centimeters to meter. We need to move from a centimeter to a meter. So moving from a centimeter, we're going to use this side. Centimeter to a meter. Meaning we're going to divide by what? 100. So we're going to say 25,000 centimeter are going to divide by 100. So we want to divide 25,000 divided by 100. So if you now add zeros, so when we divide, it's easy. We're going to cancel what? The zeros. Zeros cancel this one. So it's going to be 250,000 divided by 1. The answer is 250 what? Meters. So we have used the first method to get our answer. Now let's go to number 2. We have 0.5 centimeter. We need to convert to millimeter. We move from centimeter to where? To millimeter. Meaning we're going to use what? A multiplication. We're going to multiply by what? A 10. This one we're going to do 0.5 multiplied by a 10. In what? Millimeters. So 0.5 multiplied by 10. What is the answer? The answer is 5. 5 millimeter. Number C. We have 7 kilometer. We convert it to meter. We come to our diagram. We are moving from kilometer to where? To a meter. What do we do? We multiply by what? 1,000. So we have 7 kilometers. 7 multiplied by 1,000 meters. 7 multiplied by 1,000, it's a 7,000 meters. Number D, we have 0.5 kilometers. 0.5 kilometers multiplied by, 0.5 kilometers to meter. We move from kilometer again to a meter. So multiply by a 1000. 0.5 multiplied by a 1000 meters. Zero comma 5 multiplied by 1000. So it's going to be 500 meters. So these are the answers. Please write the corrections. So this is what I was having today. We're discussing about the conversion of units of length. So I've given you two ways of converting the units of length. This is another method, and that one of King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. So it's up to you which one you want to use. So for your homework, please open on page the Platinum book, page 72, exercise 13.3. You're going to write number 1 up to number 6. So that is your homework. Any questions? So anyone with questions, please, you are welcome to ask questions. If there are no questions, it means we are done for the day. Thank you so much. We are going to continue with our lesson tomorrow.